Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, doing an article titled Soldier Discovers Wife Slept with Dozens of Men, Gets Brutal Revenge. And guys, this is yet another story about a young guy who's in the army, and he goes and marries his girlfriend because she's got some health problems and all that. And by him marrying her, she then gets to be on his health plan, live with him close, he can keep an eye on her. And then he goes away, he's stationed in Korea, and guess what happens? She ends up hooking up with all these dudes. And it's a really sad story because this is so common. I mean, I did a video about 2 months ago where a guy, he got married, same thing, went away, was stationed, and his wife had a boyfriend, and eventually she got pregnant, and all about all that, what he did to get his life back together and get even with her. But this takes it to a whole new level because you find out that she's hooking up with like 60 different guys while he was gone. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm doing this, guys, because for any young guys out there that are in the military, or any young guys that are thinking about getting in the military, and you got a girlfriend you're serious with, and you think it's a good idea to go ahead and marry her, really think twice before you go ahead and do that, because there are so many stories. I mean, if you guys watched the video I did, there are thousands of comments from guys all over the country telling stories about how either it happened to them or they're guys that they knew where their wives are cheating on them. I mean, it's really a shame, but it happens, you know. And so I'm doing this so you guys can really learn from these bad experiences, not have to go through the same pain and embarrassment and agony that this guy does and others out there. So starts out saying, a soldier took to Reddit to share his story of getting revenge on his wife, who he said she cheated with an astonishing 60 men. 60 men, guys. The soldier, who used his Reddit username Frizzmaster in his post, said that he got revenge on his wife, who reportedly moved her new boyfriend into the couple's homes by taking her to court. He started his story by explaining that he married his wife after a short time because she had several health problems and his command would not let the two stay off post without being married. He's being quoted as saying, "We got a courtroom wedding 2 weeks later. The added bonus, not only could I stay with her while she slept to be ready in case of another episode, but my TRICARE would fully cover her medical costs. I was happy. She was happy. I got to tell my command, now you can't stop me from staying with her, and we all live happily ever after." Oh, isn't that nice? So, again, as I said before in the intro, she has health problems. So this guy, because he's a good guy and unfortunately naive, he rushes ahead to marry her. Probably doesn't know her well enough, obviously. And now they're married. She can live in his home and get to use his paycheck and benefit from his health benefits, drive his car, and all that. And now you're going to see he's going to go away and watch what happens. Things weren't so simple, however. The wife started exhibiting odd behavior, leaving the house at random times to go to Walmart in a completely different town because the one in their town didn't have what she needed in stock. Walmart, that says a lot. Well, as luck would have it, right as I started to get suspicious, I came down on orders to PCS to Korea. So sidelining the investigation until I was able to continue, I packed, kissed my wife goodbye, and let the army send me where they wanted me. I spent a year in Korea, then came down on orders for Texas. I went there. It was there that I found out exactly what was going on, courtesy of her mom, brother, and her aunt and uncle. So this girl that he married, and he obviously rushed into to help her, she's obviously so bad that this got her family, her brother, mom, aunt, and uncle, were helping him out in all what she was doing. I mean, that says a hell of a lot. As it turned out, his wife had been sleeping with 60 different men, mostly soldiers. She reportedly told her family that her husband was okay with her infidelity because he was gay and didn't want to come out. Oh, man. So basically, this woman is using me as a paycheck and meal ticket and screwing everything with a pulse that happens to be male, he wrote. The icing on the cake is that 2 weeks after I get the good news, she calls me and confesses to cheating on me once. The only reason she confessed, she was pregnant. There was no way I could be the father given that I was in a different state at a different time and the father was African American. Obviously, he's saying that because so the baby won't potentially resemble him, and people can see, wait a second, that's not your son. He added, well, things happened. I went back home without her knowing and removed my belongings from the house I bought to keep her from selling them once she realized what I was about to do, and started the divorce proceedings. This is where he gets into how he gets even with her. This is revenge number 1. I saw her boyfriend, not the baby's father, new guy entirely, driving my car. So I enlisted the help of her aunt and uncle to get my car back. They pulled up behind him in a parking lot, got out, and talked to him normally, at which time I walked up from the other side of the parking lot. Her uncle asked to see the keys, and upon receiving them, began taking the car key ring off the ring. Sorry guys, I have allergies this morning. My voice is all kind of screwed up. And waved me forward. I walked up, took the car key from him, looked at the guy, and said, "Hi, my name is Frizzmaster." Obviously, he's not saying his real name here. "And this is my car. I'm taking it now." I waved to him over to the sidewalk, removed everything from the car that didn't have my name on it, left the items with him, then got in my car and drove off. This part here about the car, the whole process of getting the aunt and uncle to follow the guy and get him and take the thing off the ring, this sounds a little suspicious to me, but okay, it's his story, but it seems a little off. I found out later that day that he had packed everything and left her. Apparently, he had been living in my house, eating my food, sleeping in my bed, and wearing my clothes. Plus, she had been using the money I sent her every month to pay for his court costs and child support costs. The soldier had taken his wife to court, where he was finally able to get revenge on the woman who took advantage of him for so long. Oh, my bad. I thought that was him talking about the other guy that she was supporting. It's saying here, the guy in the story, this guy, the soldier, took his wife to court, where he finally was able to get revenge on the woman who took advantage of him for so long. This guy's is an actual article telling the story about the guy from Reddit, and it goes back and forth between him telling the story and the author of this article. The guy's quote is saying, "Well, looking over the evidence and testimonies presented, there really is only one decision I can come to. Mr. Frizzmaster, I'm approving your motions for exclusive use of the vehicle and property. Upon undeniable evidence of adultery," the judge told him in court. Judge goes on to say to his wife, "Mrs. Frizzmaster, the only one of your motions I'm granting today is your request for a no-contact order, and that is more for Mr. Frizzmaster's benefits than your own." The judge continued, "You seem to be very combative and willing to cause him legal damage that he was not due, and your repeated attempts to overtalk me while I was reviewing the paperwork did not speak well of you." Always show respect to the judge, guys. You ever go to court? Always show respect to the judge. I know lots of lawyers. People end up freaking out in court and being rude to the judge. That's the worst thing you can ever do if you guys get in trouble for anything or have to be in court. Little tip there. "You no longer have a claim to either the property or the vehicle, and will not contact Mr. Frizzmaster unless it is us. If it is us to have him clarify which items do not belong to you." And the soldier's wife pleaded with the judge to be more lenient because she would otherwise have no place to live. The judge's final response put the nail in the coffin. "Well, Mrs. Frizzmaster, you have 30 days to figure that out, after which you will not set foot on that property again, or else you will be held in contempt of court," he said. So guys, that's a pretty quick story, but right to the point. The moral of the story is, again, how just sadly in this world so many women cheat, but in particular with regards to the soldiers. Like I said, guys, with the other video I did a couple months ago and all the thousands of comments I read about that, it seems to be so common. And it seems to be the most common thing is it happens to young guys, typically in their late teens, early 20s. They get married before when they become soldiers, and then before they ship out. Or a lot of times it seems to be enlisted men. Something that I don't know how often this happens with officers. Somebody could correct me on that. Let me know in the comment section. But it's really sad. So the bottom line is this, guys, is that first of all, you know how I feel about marriage in general. Marriage is dead here in the West, and other parts of the world, don't even bother with, because it's a recipe for disaster. You're only asking for misery. I've done the statistics on it. It's unbelievable. Okay, you're better off being single, casually dating when you want to. If you want to get in a relationship with somebody, that's fine, but you always keep your eye open and you don't move in with them. But with regards to marriage, guys, for you guys that are in the military, don't do it. If you're going to do it when you get out, because these guys, they ship off, and the wives start hooking up with the neighbor, other soldiers, you name it. It's terrible. Meanwhile, living in the house that the guy pays for, or the house he gets his allowance for, his pay, his car, his food, his money, she gets to live the life while he's gone and hooking up with all these guys. Does that mean that they all do that? No. But it happens so often that, again, you hear so many stories about it, so it's not bullshit. So for you young guys, just beware of this. It doesn't happen to you. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. By all means, share any stories that you happen to know about, proving that this is something that does happen, is accurate, so that young guys can hear these stories and read these comments and not make the same mistake and get hurt like these other guys. And be sure to comment, and also be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.